Hey everyone, it's Cheyenne back with another video. Happy New Year, everyone. That's kind of the theme that I'm thinking about right now, going into the new year. I saw a post that was like, oh, you say the prayer that's like, oh, God, get rid of any of my enemies or whatever, the removal prayer. And something about that, every time someone thinks that the solution to their problems or their friendships is the removal prayer, I always do a little side eye because is it the fact that, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get in the center. Is it the fact that they're not a good friend or is you not a good friend? So yeah, we're going to talk about friendships today. Are you a good friend? Is it really necessary to do the removal prayer, or do you just need to look within? Let's get into it. So before I get started, I just want to talk about my background with friendships. So my history with friends. So as a kid, I say like elementary school years, daycare and stuff like that, I was very social. Had a lot of friends. I had one really close best friend. I knew her family very well. She knew my family. We were neighbors pretty much. We met when we was 3 in daycare. Literally diapers, monster trucks, and building blocks. We just had a lot of play dates and we just ended up growing up together. And then around 4th grade, I ended up meeting my other best friend, my other childhood best friend that we're both of my friends, both of the best friends, we're still cool to this day. The one that I met when I was 3, we've kind of distanced, not on purpose, no bad blood or nothing. It's just life. You know, we had just went different directions. But when we see each other, it's all hugs, it's all good energy. I'm still cool with her family. The family's still cool with my family. It's just, you know, we're adults now. And we just drifted off into different directions, but we're still cool. The best friend that I met in 4th grade, we're still best friends. Like, we're still closer than ever. I saw her yesterday. Yeah, around middle school, I met another best friend. We're no longer friends, but that's a whole nother spiel. But yes, so I say middle school, I was still very social, still had a group of friends. I had one really good best friend at the time. And then high school hit, and I felt like I felt really isolated. The school that they had me go out to was a school I've never really like heard of. They bussed me out. It was an hour away. And so I just felt isolated and I just became very depressed thinking that like all my friends had long forgot about me. And I ended up meeting friends while at that high school. Not a group anymore. I didn't have necessarily a group of friends like I've been so used to my whole life. They were like sporadic friends here and there. We were really close, me and the friends, but it was not a group. They didn't mess with each other. And then not high school, college. Me and my best friend from 4th grade, we ended up moving into a dorm together. And it was just kind of excuse me about that. It was just a duo. It was just a duo for the year. We did get involved into a ministry. We met a few more girls there. And then around sophomore year, that's where a kind of group of friends started to build. And so I ended up creating my college friends. So me and my college friends are still friends to this day. Like, that's where, oh my God, the group came back. Everything that I felt like I was missing from high school, that yearning for like a group of friends, a group of girls, came back finally. And I cherish that. I love them. I'm still connected to all of them to this day. And then into my adulthood, like I said, I still carry my best friend from 4th grade. I still keep up with some of my friends from high school. We keep up more so through social media. Still the same thing with my middle school friends. I keep up with them on social media. But of course, my college friends are the ones that I see in person most often. And then as I got to like the work field, I have like associates that are like my work friends. And then I have my homegirls where we used to work together that we're now closer than ever. We no longer work at that location. Oh, excuse me. I no longer work at that location, but our friendship transcended past that job. So those are like my homegirls now. I will say I don't have male friends. And it's not on purpose. It's just, I don't know, it just never aligned. It never really happened. Or it could have been I take responsibility and say I never made an effort. I'll be honest. It just never really crossed my mind. Now, no, nothing against male and female friendships at all. It's just, it just never panned out that way. That's all I gotta say. But so yeah, that's like a little background of my friendships. I've had friends pretty much my entire life, whether I've been in a group or more sporadic friends. I will say I've been able to keep my friends. Like I said, there's only one friend, the best friend from middle school, that our friendship did die out. But that's about the only one though. Like I have friends from elementary school. They're so when they recognize me, they're so happy to see me. I'm happy to see them. I actually reconnected with one. I was going to get a wax, and she was actually the receptionist at the front desk. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, Cheyenne, you was like my best friend in elementary school." And so we're reconnected now. So I would say I have a pretty good track record with friendships, and that's a blessing. That's such a blessing. But yeah, so let's get into it. I wanted to start off with a verse. A verse most people are pretty familiar with, but they normally use it in the context of like romantic relationships. But there's romantic relationships, and then there's the friendships where, you know, you love them, but you're not in love with them. So yes, let's start off with 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. That is how you should carry all your relationships with that verse, not just romantic ones. Because you love your friends, as you should. You're not in love with them, but you love them still. And you should still hold that patience with them. They're not perfect. You're not perfect. I know a lot of people, they're so quick to ghost people. Where is the mercy? God grants us mercy. We make mistakes all the time. We go against God's word all the time. And God grants us mercy. Now, your friend who is another human being who made a mistake, you can grant them mercy. God grants you mercy every day. Every day. And you don't deserve it. Yet God still grants you mercy. Your friend is a human. They're going to make mistakes. And the thing is, a lot of times it's not even intentional. They go through things, and sometimes they lash out and it's not on purpose. Sometimes they're going through their own personal things and it just impacts the people around them, but not intentionally. Being understanding with that person. Be understanding, be patient. Maybe it's just they need to withdraw back for a few months. They need to get themselves back together. And on the opposite end, if you are that friend who is feeling like you need to withdraw, you need to kind of go a little isolated for a little while until you are good to be back into the friend group, communicate that. People can't read your mind. Communicate that. Hey friends, I'm going through a little bit right now. I'm going through a rough patch. I cannot be the friend that I should be right now. I can't be that friend to you right now. I'm going to need to take a little time off. I'll be here and there for events. But as far as all the hangouts and stuff, I just need a little time to myself. Boom. You know, as a friend, they should be understanding. They should be able to give you your space without making you feel guilty for asking for space. But it's a two-way street. You should be understanding when that friend needs space, and that friend needs to be able to communicate to you like, hey, they didn't even go through all the details, but just communicating, hey, I need space right now. You know, it's not intentional. I still love you, and I will, you know, hear from you here and there. I'll call you here and there when I have the energy to do so. Okay. Next, I want to get into kindness. Kind. Be gentle with your friend. You know, joking around and stuff, that's okay. But understanding boundaries with them. Kindness comes with boundaries. When you respect someone, there's an unspoken boundary of what line you would not cross. You know, you're not going to talk about their mama. You're not going to talk about how ugly they are. That's not kind. That's rude. Not ugly. You don't sit up and talk bad about your friend's appearance. You don't gossip about them. You don't talk about them behind their back. You're not making sly, shady jokes in their face. That's not kind. That's rude. And it's a reflection on you. Are you a good friend? Did you and that friend fall out because they a snake? No. They don't, or shady or fake? No, they're not fake. They don't want to hang out with you anymore. You've been rude. You haven't been kind. Ooh, Holy Spirit, talk it through me now. Next, I want to get into envy. You're not supposed to be in competition with your friends. You're not supposed to look at them and feel envious of what they have and what they don't, and you're not supposed to do that. They have their own destiny just like you have your own destiny. You're supposed to seek God when you want to find your purpose, when you want things to be fulfilled. You're not supposed to look at someone else and get envious, especially not your friend. That's how you end up in competition with each other, trying to one up, trying to get better with one another, and causing all that rift in your relationship. You're not supposed to be envious of one another. You're supposed to support one another. You're supposed to be proud of each other when someone has an accomplishment. You're supposed to be happy for them, genuinely, knowing that that's part of their destiny. They're not taking away your destiny. Nothing's being taken away from you from your friend having an accomplishment. That's jealousy. A lot of people lose friendships or people because of jealousy, because of envy. People can feel that. They can feel when you're not genuinely proud of them. They can feel when you're in competition with them, when you keep trying to one up them. They can feel that. They can sense that. And a lot of people, they end up distancing themselves because, once again, communication is not really in that. They don't really want to bring it up, knowing that you'll probably deny it and end up in an argument. Supposed to be genuine with your friends, genuinely happy for them. But I know that is a big reflection on yourself. How do you feel within yourself? It's hard to feel happy for someone else when you're not happy with yourself. Boasting. That goes along the same way. You're not, instead of, when you're boasting, you're bragging. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. Oh, yeah, mine's better than yours. Da, 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 da. God can snatch that away real quick. With the quickness. Shoop. Boop. Don't do that. A part of being able to give congratulations and being able to receive congratulations humbly. Be humble. When your friend is congratulating you, be humble. Don't boast, don't brag, don't slap it back in their face. Also, say you gave your friend advice and they didn't listen. Once again, they're human. That's where patience comes into. Don't slap it back in their face and kick them while they're down. Don't say, I told you so, you should have done this, should have done that. Be a shoulder for your friend. Be a listening ear for your friend. I understand at some point you have to draw the line, especially if they keep, falling the same pattern over and over again. That's a different topic, but, you're not supposed to be boastful. And next is not proud. Too much pride. A lot of friendships end because no one wants to apologize to one another. No one wants to take that first initiative. Longevity in friendships come with apologies. And it comes with a lot of them. Especially because you grow. Especially for childhood friendships, you grow. You're not 12 anymore. You're growing, you're stretching, you're making new mistakes, you're exploring new things, you're trying new things. Sometimes things don't pan out. And you made mistakes. But that's where sorry comes into. Sometimes you lash out and you don't mean to. Sometimes you're growing and you end up being more distant than you intend to be. That's what communication and apologizing. Don't be too proud to sit down and have a conversation with someone you call your friend. How are you going to last throughout the years if you two don't communicate? If you ghost each other over everything? If you're too proud to say, I'm sorry, I acknowledge where I messed up and I don't want to do it again. I don't mean to hurt you. I love you. How? How, Sway? How do you expect that friendship to last if neither one of you take that initiative to genuinely I care about this friendship? Like, how much do you really care about that person if you're so quick to pick up and leave after every inconvenience or every little spat? People go through things in their lives. People are, especially like I said, when you're growing, you're going through adolescence, all that kind of stuff. You're changing. Everyone's changing. Especially if you're around the same age, you're growing and changing together. And sometimes that comes with growing pains. But when you value your friendship, when you value one another, you don't want to throw it away. You don't want to ghost them. Because there's romantic breakups and there's friendship breakups. And some people say friendship breakups, they hit you deep. They hit you deeper than the romantic ones. Because it's hard to find good friends. It's hard to find good friends. People who are your family, but they're not blood. People who are there when you're down. People who's there to congratulate you when you're up. Sometimes, like I said, more than blood. More than your actual family. Because you can create your family. You can create the ones around you who are your family. But yeah, that's just what I want to talk about today. Like, what are you doing in this whole? Are you impatient? Are you rude? Are you envious? Do you boast when you're supposed to be humble? Are you too proud? You keep cutting off everybody. You keep cutting them off. No wonder you ain't got no friends. You keep cutting them off over every little big thing instead of working it out. God grants us mercy every single day. We receive his grace every single day and we do not deserve it. Love thy neighbor. I got serious in this video, but I mean that. I can't stand when people point the fingers at everyone else as to why they don't have friends when they're not being a good friend to retain that friendship. This new year, look within. If you want friendships, look within this year. You want to retain friendships, you want to meet new people, look within this year. Am I being a good friend? Am I practicing 1 Corinthians 13:4? Am I practicing loving thy neighbor? Extending the same grace that God grants us? I feel like I had to get that off my chest, but I've been thinking about that for years. Every time I see a post like that, that's the first thing that pops into my mind. Are you being a good friend though? Is it always everyone else? Something to ponder on as we enter 2026. Actually, technically, this is the first, so we are already in 2026. But please practice that verse, incorporate it in your relationships, romantic and not, this year, and see how much your relationships blossom. I want to see your relationships blossom, grow. But it starts from within. All right, that's all that I have for today. I really hope that this is a lesson for you all. I don't want to be a dagger to anyone, but it's very important to look within yourself sometimes, to do some self-reflection. All right, you all have a good new year. I hope to see you soon. Bye.